Okay, what's up? Today is day 17 trying to make $1 million. There are only there are only 349 days left. So what I have done today? Today I was recording videos for the long format video, and also I meet a German person that gave me an advice because I meet a person from Germany, so I was talking with him and I asked him for an advice to make $1 million in just 365 days. But right now I only have 349 days. And here it is. So the idea is to get advice from all people around the world to make $1 million in just 365 days and ask them to write it down in this diary titled Living with Debt. So what I need to do to make $1 million, because I only have 349 days left. Today's day number 17, and first I will put the counter. It's in the left corner for me, probably right corner for you, I'm not sure, or probably left corner for you, I'm not sure. Okay, anyway, for today, because I need to, in order to start my shoe brand, I need to do the market research. I prepare a video from Dan Martell. Let me share the screen. Here we go. Perfect. This is a 5-minute video from Dan Martell explaining how to do a market research, because if I want to start a shoe brand, I need to do market research. So let's learn from Dan Martell.
How do you conduct world-class market research? How do you figure out who your competitors How do you conduct world-class market research? How do you figure out who your competitors are? How do you understand how to price your product? That is what I'm going to teach you guys how to do in this video. I'm going to teach you the strategies to get that information as fast as freaking possible, because in my world, speed is everything. You know, when I was starting my company, Clarity, it was a marketplace for entrepreneurs to get expert advice over the phone. And every time I would share it with somebody that kind of knew this space or were in the startup world, they'd always mention this guy, Carl Jacobs' name. So eventually I emailed him. I was like, hey, Carl, every time I share my idea with investors or other entrepreneurs, your name keeps coming up. Do you have a few minutes to chat? And I got to tell you, that first meeting was probably the most informational, jammed-packed 15 minutes of the whole time I was building Clarity. Because Carl had already built a company back in the late 90s, early 2000s that did something similar for a different market segment using a totally different technology stack. And he had the experience. He understood the competitors. He understood who were people today that were doing it, because again, his name kept coming up. So anybody that had tried something similar, they also went to Carl. So after I showed it to him, the cool part was Carl eventually became a formal advisor to Clarity. But I share that with you because it really showed me a faster, better way to conduct market research. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 other ones that are world-class, that'll really take things to the next level for you. The first one is leveraging university students. I don't understand why every business doesn't use this. There are MBAs, business, there's marketing students, and all of them need real world experience. So that's where you come in. If you approach the professor at the university, and you can just go online and figure out who that is, and just say, hey, I'd love to give a project for your students to do. I'm working on this new business idea, or even a new maybe strategy or a specific segment of the market you're currently in. I want to give them a project that they can work on, and obviously whoever does the best one, maybe there's an opportunity to hire them, maybe there's an opportunity for me to be a good reference for them. But leveraging university students to get real great market research, you gotta understand, they were taught how to do this. For most entrepreneurs I know out there, I was never taught how to do it. I'd rather find people that are professionals that have the supervision of professors that are world class to really get that information that you need to grow your business. So the first one is leveraging colleges, universities to get the students to do the work for you. The second one is actually hiring people online. There are sites like Upwork.com, it used to be Elance, where you can go search for, there's a category called market research, data research, marketing, and hire people for $5 an hour that have done this for hundreds of other companies to go and spend tens of hours researching the different competitors, the pricing models they've used, the way they position the product, and then gather all that information into one document for you to understand on how to understand your market in your startup. I think that is probably the fastest way. It's something I use almost on a monthly basis, is just hiring somebody to do research for you so that you can go and work on things that are uniquely qualified for you to do from a productivity point. It's amazing. It's fast coming up. So anybody that...
I'm sorry guys, I need to rewatch this part. My mind is in other things right now, but I'll try to focus, bro.
90s, early 2000s that did something similar for a different market segment using a totally different technology stack. And he had the experience. He understood the competitors. He understood who were people today that were doing it, because again, his name kept coming up. So anybody that had tried something similar, they also went to Carl. So after I showed it to him, the cool part was Carl eventually became a formal advisor to Clarity. But I share that with you because it really showed me a faster, better way to conduct market research. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 other ones that are world-class, that'll really take things to the next level for you. The first one is leveraging university students. I don't understand why every business doesn't use this. There are MBAs, business, there's marketing students, and all of them need real-world experience. So that's where you come in. If you approach the professor at the university, and you can just go online and figure out who that is, and just say, hey, I'd love to give a project for your students to do. I'm working on this new business idea, or even a new maybe strategy or a specific segment of the market you're currently in. I want to give them a project that they can work on, and obviously whoever does the best one, maybe there's an opportunity to hire them, maybe there's an opportunity for me to be a good reference for them. But leveraging university students to get real great market research. You gotta understand, they were taught how to do this. For most entrepreneurs I know out there, I was never taught how to do it. I'd rather find people that are professionals that have the supervision of professors that are world class to really get that information that you need to grow your business. So the first one is leveraging colleges, universities to get the students to do the work for you. The second one is actually hiring people online. There are sites like Upwork.com, it used to be Elance, where you can go search for, there's a category called market research, data research, marketing, and hire people for $5 an hour that have done this for hundreds of other companies to go and spend tens of hours researching the different competitors, the pricing models they've used, the way they position the product, and then gather all that information into one document for you to understand on how to understand your market in your startup. I think that is probably the fastest way. It's something I use almost on a monthly basis, is just hiring somebody to do research for you so that you can go and work on things that are uniquely qualified for you to do from a productivity point. It's amazing, it's fast, and it's information rich. The third one, which is kind of why I told you the Carl Jacobs story, is finding founders that have failed before, or in this case, founders that have actually been successful. I mean, Carl eventually sold that company to AT&T for hundreds of millions of dollars. And rich. The third one, which is kind of why I told you the Carl Jacobs story, is finding founders that have failed before, or in this case, founders that have actually been successful. I mean, Carl eventually sold that company to AT&T for hundreds of millions of dollars. And the reason why that's awesome is those founders, if it's a few years removed from the time they tried the company and it failed, they're going to be more than open on everything they've tried. They're going to tell you who are some of the competitors at the time, who they think the competition is today, what was their vision, what was their roadmap, how is the strategy laid out, and then they'll also maybe tell you about other people you could potentially hire, or other companies they've seen now recently that are kind of in the space that could eventually pivot into your market. To me, going to founders that have been successful or failed in that space prior is a wealth of information. And those are the 3 strategies I want to share with you guys. 1, leverage your local universities, colleges. Give those students real-world projects so they can come out and actually be super valuable to companies instead of just studying a bunch of stuff in a book. Second is making sure that you use these online resources like an Upwork to hire people wherever they are, from Europe, from North America, that have the experience to do this hundreds of times a month for other companies and let them do it for your company. And then third is to find a founder that has failed or succeeded in that business so you can really learn from them the fastest way. And again, the coolest part is they may introduce you to other talent, to partnerships, etc. So those are the 3 ways for you to go from no knowledge to
right now, because if I want to start a brand, I need more information than that.
Hey my friend, Adam here, and in this video I want to share with you 5 fast, easy, free, but most important of all, proven and profitable market research strategies that you can use right now, and that are going to help you figure out exactly what to do, how to do it, and who to do it for in order to give you and your business the best chance of success possible. Because in today's hyper-competitive business world, identifying, targeting, and then reaching your ideal target market is your business's first and maybe even most important goal. After all, people can't buy from you if they don't know that you exist, and people won't buy from you if they don't know why they should care. And market research is the tool that's going to give you the answers to both of these incredibly important questions. Also, a big thank you to HubSpot for sponsoring this video, but more on that later. For now, let's dive right in. First off, it's important to note that whether we're using the terms target audience, ideal audience, target market, target customers, ideal customers, customer avatars, or basically any other combination of those words, they all pretty much mean the same thing, which is nothing more than a group of customers that you want to reach or sell to. Now, your total market is all of the people that could potentially buy whatever it is that you're selling. In marketing, this is called a TAM, that stands for total addressable market. But here's the thing. Even though this is going to sound completely backwards, you don't actually want to sell to everybody in your total market, because everybody isn't the best fit. What you want instead is a segment of the market that you can serve best. A segment made up of customers who want what you have and are happy, willing, and able to pay you for the true value that you provide. And that segment is your target market, or target audience, customer avatar, ideal customers, you know the terms. So if you've ever been frustrated because your customers just don't seem to get it, well, it could be something as simple as you're just going after the wrong segment. Or you're going after the right segment, but in the wrong way, using the wrong words and messages and offers. Now this next part is really important, so I'm gonna say it as slowly and clearly as possible. Feel free to pause the video or even rewind and rewatch this a couple times. Matching your message to your target market is the key to success. And getting this right will immediately make all of your marketing 10 times, maybe even 100 times more effective and more profitable, making attracting new customers and making more sales easier than ever before. But get this wrong, and well, sadly, this is one of the biggest reasons that most businesses fail. And at best, you're just gonna keep going around in circles, feeling stuck and stalled and frustrated and overwhelmed. And I want the key to success. And getting this right as possible. Feel free to pause the video or even rewind and rewatch this a couple times. Matching your message to your target market is the key to success. And getting this right will immediately make all of your marketing 10 times, maybe even 100 times more effective and more profitable, making attracting new customers and making more sales easier than ever before. But get this wrong, and well, sadly, this is one of the biggest reasons that most businesses fail. And at best, you're just gonna keep going around in circles, feeling stuck and stalled and frustrated and overwhelmed. And I want better for you. And this is why one of the best places to start anytime you're thinking of starting a new business or launching a new offer or introducing a new product or service to the market is Amazon. No, not the jungle, the website, and here's why. The fastest and easiest place to get ideas, inspiration, and do research on both your customers as well as your competitors is Amazon, or any other online book retailer will do. This is because books, starting a new business or launching a new offer or introducing a new product or service to the market is Amazon. No, not the jungle, the website, and here's why. The fastest and easiest place to get ideas, inspiration, and do research on both your customers as well as your competitors is Amazon, or any other online book retailer will do. This is because books typically take a longer time to write and to edit and to publish than most of the other forms of media out there, which means you can be at least a little more confident in the information that's being presented opposed to, say,
Right now I was looking for the specific type of shoe that I want to sell on Amazon. I was looking for that shoe, and yesterday we're looking at that, but I will check again. New task, check again. Okay.
basing your entire marketing strategy off a tweet that somebody posted at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking about starting a DVD rental store. It's gonna be huge, bro. But you're not just going to Amazon to browse. You're on a mission, a market research mission. Which, when I say it out loud, makes it sound like the most boring mission ever. Anyway, what you want to do here is look up books in your market, your niche, or your industry and see what the titles are, what the descriptions say, how many reviews there are, and what the reviews say. The titles will tell you what topics, angles, and hooks people want to read about. The description of the book is basically a mini marketing message and is designed to highlight the benefits of the book, and you can use this to get an idea for how other people are talking about the pains and problems that your customers experience. And the number of reviews the book has will show how many people care about the topic enough to actually post a review. Read the 5-star reviews to find out what people liked and why, so you can make sure your business offers those same solutions. And read the 1- and 2-star reviews so you can see what the book missed or what people didn't like, so you can choose whether or not to include those things in your marketing. Another thing that you want to do here, not just with Amazon, but with all of the resources and tools and strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you throughout the rest of this video, is start to use that information to put together an ideal customer avatar. Or if you already have an ideal customer avatar, then using the information that you gather and collect and essentially research to compare against it in order to make sure that you continue doing the right things for the right people in the right place. Now, if the whole ideal customer avatar thing is completely new to you, don't worry, it sounds way more complicated than it actually is. And it's really just a fictional, though sometimes real, representation of who your best customer is, and it's made up of all of the things that they have in common. These are things like their demographic details, like age, gender, income, occupation, and titles. Geographic details, like what city, state, province, or country they live in. And most importantly of all, psychographic details, like what are their values, their attitudes, their lifestyles, beliefs, or any groups or organizations that they're a part of. Another thing you can do is take advantage of and download the free market research kit provided by this video's sponsor, HubSpot. So let me walk you through that now. HubSpot's Market Research Kit is made up of 5 different research and planning templates and comes with a free guide on how to use them in your market research, and will help you find out important industry and market factors like the market size and trends, the regulations, gaps in the market, and market demographics. It can help you build a buyer profile with all the things we just talked about, like age, gender, income level, lifestyle trends, needs, and attitudes. It'll give you guidelines for competitor research looking at pricing structures and market share and marketing and branding. And HubSpot's free market research kit includes an industry analysis template to kickstart your market and competitor demographics. It can help you build a buyer profile with all the things we just talked about, like age, gender, income level, lifestyle trends, needs, and attitudes. It'll give you guidelines for competitor research looking at pricing structures and market share and marketing and branding. And HubSpot's free market research kit includes an industry analysis template to kickstart your market research and basically get you up and running as quickly as possible. If you know you need market research but don't know where to start, then start here, as the kit includes an instructional guide, SWOT analysis templates available as Word docs or interactive design PDFs, a survey template, focus group template, presentation template, and 5 Forces industry analysis template. So make sure to click the link in the descriptions below right after this video and download your free market research kit today. Next, let me show you another powerful tool you can use to get access to more data and information than you ever thought possible, using Think with Google Research. Think with Google Research is a treasure trove of googly goodness. But the 2 things that I want to direct your attention to are number 1, Find My Audience, and number 2, Google Trends. So let's start with Find My Audience first. If you've ever run Google Ads before, then it's going to look pretty familiar. With data and information is a treasure trove possible, using Think with Google Research. Think with Google Research is a treasure trove of googly goodness. But the two things that I want to direct your attention to are number 1, Find My Audience, and number 2, Google Trends. So let's start with Find My Audience first. If you've ever run Google Ads before, then it's going to look pretty familiar, as it allows you to look over and dive into different in-market and affinity segments. For example, if I pick in-market and then business services, I can see advertising and marketing services, business and financial services, business printing and document services, business technology, and a whole bunch of other businessy related services and topics and products that people are interested in. And I can click on any one of these, like say advertising and marketing services, and I can learn more about this audience, including what other YouTube channels they watch, what other purchases they make, what other audiences they're likely to be a part of, and other subcategories within advertising and marketing services that I may want to check out as well. It's a powerful little tool, especially when combined with this next one, Google Trends. Google Trends is another fantastic market research tool, especially to give you sort of an overview or high-level 30,000-foot view on a business or topic or industry or essentially anything that may be trending. All you have to do is simply enter a search term and it'll tell you the level of interest that this topic has, both now and in the past. For example, let me type in something random, like say sock knitting, in order to see what's going on in the industry right now. Well, according to Google Trends, it looks like a pretty stable topic over the past 12 months, with a pretty obvious spike in November, which makes sense as these are probably a pretty popular gift around the holiday time. But we can also take a look at it over different time frames, not to mention breaking it down by different countries and different states. You can also see any related topics, or my personal favorite, related queries, which in this case is going to show us the terms crazy sock lady and Centro knitting machine, which are topping the charts, with the term vintage sock knitting machine showing an increase in interest of 550%. Powerful stuff, and I'm sure I don't need to tell you just how incredibly useful it is to know exactly what people are searching for, what they're interested in, and the exact keywords that they're using in order to find it. Okay, next let's do a little competitor research in order to dive a little deeper into your competitors and find out if they're really as smart as they think they are. Now there are two big dangers that you need to look out for when you're doing competitor research. The first is not knowing who your competitors are, or ignoring them completely, which is inexcusable and, for lack of a better term, just silly. After all, even if they're doing most things wrong, well, there's still lessons to be learned. And the second danger is copying them completely, which leads you coming off as a second-rate version of them, and 99 times out of 100, people are just going to want to go for the original version.
Automatiza flujos sin escribir una sola línea de código. El control lo tienes tú.
So with that said, here's how you do competitor research the right way. First off, you need to make a list of your competitors and group them into one of 4 different groups. Number 1 is direct. These are people that sell what you sell, and group them into one of.
Okay, these are the tasks for me. Okay. Make a list of your Perfect.
4 different groups. Number 1 is direct. These are people that sell what you sell to who you sell. Next is indirect. These are people that sell what you sell to a different group or different segment of the market. Number 3 is colleagues. These are people that sell something different to who you sell. And number 4 is futures. These are people that sell something to people who will eventually become your target audience. For example, if you sell running shoes, they may sell walking shoes or books that teach people how to run. Once you have these lists, you want to start diving into their content and Number 3 is direct. 1 is direct. First off, you need to make a list of your competitors and group them into one of 4 different groups. Number 1 is direct. These are people that sell what you sell to who you sell. Next is indirect. These are people that sell what you sell to a different group or different segment of the market. Number 3 is colleagues. These are people that sell something different to who you sell. And number 4 is futures. These are people that sell something to people who will eventually become your target audience. For example, if you sell running shoes, they may sell walking shoes or books that teach people how to run. Once you have these lists, you want to start diving into their content and their website and their social media profiles. What do they offer?
And also, with these futures, you can make collaborations. You can sell this product because your target audience is the same. So if your target audience is the same, you can help each other and probably sell something together, like this thing that I don't remember the name of this product that Mr. Beast launched. It's not a Happy Meal, but it's not a Happy Meal, but this. Launchly was the name of that. So the target audience probably is the same, and these three became colleagues so they can work together to launch a product. You can do something like that with this last step with the future. Sell something to who you eventually becomes your with the colleagues. Sell something different to who you sell, because your target audience is the same, so you can collaborate to solve to create a product or to start a store, a physical store, where you can sell both products or something like that.
What do they talk about, and how do they talk about it? Are they cheap, expensive, fast, slow, boring, strange, interesting, new, novel, shiny, tasty? You need to know what's out there so you can know what they're doing and how you're going to differentiate yourself from them, but also so you can see what's working and people to a different group or become your target audience. For example, if you sell running shoes, they may sell walking shoes or books that teach people how to run. Once you have these lists, you want to start diving into their content and their website and their social media profiles. What do they offer? What do they talk about? And how do they talk about it? Are they cheap, expensive, fast, slow, boring, strange, interesting, new, novel, shiny, tasty? You need to know what's out there so you can know what they're doing and how you're going to differentiate yourself from them, but also so you can see what's working and what's not. So here's the deal on that. While I never advise judging the success of your business or your marketing campaign on vanity metrics such as likes and comments and shares, they do provide at least a small level of value, at least insofar as figuring out what their audience likes and enjoys, what content they want to see more of and less of. That said, an important point here is that there is a very big difference between buyers and non-buyers. And you want to make very sure that you're basing your business and marketing decisions off of people that are actually willing to pay and buy whatever it is that you're selling. Not just with likes and loves and hugs and high fives, but with money, because that's how business works. So let's talk about that next. Now, full disclosure, if you're in the early stages of launching a new business or starting a new company, then this next part isn't going to apply to you yet. But, and this is a big but, I cannot lie, it's still something that you want to pay attention to. Because moving forward, you're going to want to know what to pay attention to and what to be able to ignore
I want to start a shoe brand.
in order to give your business or your startup or new company or whatever it is that you're launching the highest likelihood of success possible. And if you happen to already have a business with current or previous customers, then you, my friend, are sitting on a gold mine. So here's how to make the most of it. First, look through your previous and existing customer database and rank your customers from most profitable to least profitable. Then take a look at the customer gold mine. So here's how to make the most of it. First, look through your previous and existing customer database and rank your customers from most profitable to least profitable. Then take a look at the top 20% of your customers and look for any common trends. Customers, then you, my friend, are sitting on a gold mine. So here's how to make the most of it. First, look through your previous and existing customer database and rank your customers from most profitable to least profitable. Then take a look at the top 20% of your customers and look for any common trends or themes or characteristics. Look at the top 20% of your customers and look for any common trends or themes or characteristics. At the top 20% of your customers and look for any common trends or themes or characteristics. For example, are they all women or all men? Are they all between the ages of 20 and 30 or 40 and 50? Do they all buy the same thing? And if so, what is it? Then, once you have this information, dig deeper by seeing if you can talk to them and ask them a few questions about their needs and why they chose you and what they love. Most about your business. After all, they are your best customers, so it only makes sense to use the answers they give you to build more specific marketing content and messages around them. Of course, if you don't have the option to talk to them or you don't
You can do that with this, bro. Let me show you. Oh, bro. But you can take your, what's the name of that? You can create let me check if I have this. What was the name of that, bro? Let me check. Wait a minute, bro. Because the fastest way to do that is you can go live one option is go live and ask your audience. The second option that you can do is create a Google form in which you ask your audience for. You need to be very specific, and you don't need to leave a space with a long answers. If you can create the form with the selection option, in which you select an option, and that's your answer if it's possible. That's one thing I learned when I was working on sales with an agency. And I also learned that from the courses that I paid. You can create forms, or you can go live and ask directly to your audience, bro. Let me show you. And also you need to offer a lead magnet. You can offer a lead magnet in order to get that answers, bro. So if you want to create a form to ask your customers about specific questions about your product or whatever you need, and you have two options: create a form or go live and ask directly to your audience. If you create a form, try to make the form as simple as possible, and also for both the live and the forms, offer a lead magnet. What's a lead magnet? Could be a ebook, could be a masterclass or something like that. You offer a gift and you get those answers.
Don't have any customers at all yet, there's still another incredibly powerful market research tool that you can use right now in order to get nearly instant feedback. So let me walk you through that now. Originally popularized way back in 2007 by author Tim Ferriss when he wrote The 4-Hour Workweek, he advised using Google AdWords in order to test different headlines and different descriptions in order to find that mythical and magical winning combination. Essentially running a split test with different Google ads, trying to figure out which title got more clicks. And then using that as the title of the book, which is what gave us The 4-Hour Workweek and not what was originally proposed, Broadband and White Sand. Well, my friend, good news. This tactic still works today. Although my personal preference is to use Facebook ads or Instagram ads, as this not only allows me to test simple text, but I'm also able to test out different images and different graphics, as well as different videos if I want to go down that road. Not to mention, for most people just getting started out with online advertising, Facebook ads are typically just a little bit easier to sort of ease into than Google ads. But if you want to know one of the best marketing strategies out there, well, I've got a little secret to tell you. A little secret that's going to allow you to influence and persuade and guide your customers in whatever direction you want. All by tapping into powerful sales and marketing psychological triggers and cognitive biases that work no matter what business, market, or industry you're in. So to show you exactly what those are and how you can use them today, I've put together this video right here. So make sure to check that out now, and I'll see you in there in just a second.
¿Quieres entrar en el mundo tech?
There are only
Damn, my microphone was so wrong again. Okay, I prepared this second video because I don't know if the problem with my videos is the storytelling. So I want to know how to be a better storyteller. So That's the reason why I choose this video. Probably is because of the thumbnail, or probably is because my storytelling sucks. So I don't know. I need to post more videos in order to check that and take a closer look to the engagement, the retention time, and with that information I can know if the problem is the thumbnail or the storytelling or probably the edition. There are a lot of factors that can influence that, but for now I need to be a better storyteller.
3 ingredients you need to be a great storyteller. Nice editing, Peter. A lot of the times people overcomplicate storytelling. They think that you need a wild, once-in-a-lifetime experience, or that you have to be naturally charismatic. There are only 3 ingredients you need to be a great storyteller. Nice editing, Peter. A lot of A lot of the times people overcomplicate storytelling. They think that you need a wild, once-in-a-lifetime experience, or that you have to be naturally charismatic. You don't. You just need 3 simple ingredients to be more memorable and more influential. And research backs this up. In a Stanford study, students who turned facts into a story remembered 93% of the facts later. But those who didn't, they only remembered 13% of the students who turned facts into a story. Research backs this up. In a Stanford study, students who turned facts into a story remembered 93%.
Probably this will be helpful for you if you're studying some topic. Probably you need to tell a story about it or something like that. Turn the facts into a story. Turn facts into a story. Perfect.
Of the facts later. But those who didn't, they only remembered 13%. That's the power of storytelling. In this video, I'm going to tell you the 3 reasons why people avoid storytelling. My 3 most valuable ingredients that make storytelling easy. And this is exactly what I've been teaching my students in my workshops for over a decade. And finally, I'm going to break down for you when storytelling works best and when it actually gets in the way. Let's start with the 3 biggest misconceptions that people have, starting with number 1. You need crazy life experiences to tell good stories, Vin. My life just isn't that interesting. You see, that's where you're wrong. You think stories are about events, not meaning. If you haven't climbed them, you're wrong. You think stories
aren't just about the event, they are about the meaning behind it. Point number 1. About your
are about events, not meaning. If you haven't climbed the mountain and survived a disaster or lived through movie moments, you tend to assume you've got nothing to share. And as a result, you don't even attempt to tell stories. So you miss the opportunities to connect through everyday moments, which are far more relatable than the grand adventures. And the irony is, what makes a story powerful isn't what happened, it's the perspective you bring and the way you frame it. Let me give you an example. Yeah, I've got a bit of a confession to make. I've been a pretty bad dog owner lately. Since the kids have come along, my fur kids have been neglected to the max. Thankfully, my dogs, Link and Zelda, they forgive so easily, and sometimes I think they're more patient than human beings. We don't really deserve dogs, do we? So I made a decision, right? I need to wake up at 4 a.m. to walk them to play fetch with their favorite bright orange ball. And I wrote a big number 4 on the orange ball as a public commitment to my wife and my kids that I was going to wake up at 4 a.m. to take them out every morning. And I know it sounds silly, but I have to do things like that to keep me motivated. And yes, I know that 4 a.m. is really early in the morning too. But with 2 kids, that's the only time I've got. And at that hour, it's beautiful. The streets are completely deserted. There are no cars. The only light you see is the glow from the street lights bouncing off the damp road. The air's super cold and crispy. The only thing you can smell is the wet grass, and I love that smell. It's dead quiet. And the only sound that I hear is their collars jingling. And after just a few weeks of this routine, I realized something really unexpected. I thought the walk and the fetch was for the dogs. Turned out, I needed the walk more than they did. My head feels clearer, my feet feel more grounded, and I've started to notice things I haven't noticed in a decade. And the reason I'm telling you this story is...
Wow, he turns a very boring event probably into an amazing story, bro. Wow, bro. Amazing.
Is because sometimes the things that we do out of responsibility end up being the things we needed for our own soul. This story wasn't about me climbing Mount Everest. It wasn't even about me making $1 million per month. It was about me walking my dogs and thinking it was for them, but then realizing that the dogs were walking me and that I was the one who needed the walk. If only they would pick up my poo instead of me picking up theirs. What made this...
So point number 1 is stories aren't just about events, they are about the meaning behind it.
Picking up theirs. What made this story valuable was the perspective that I shared, not the story itself. Are you starting to shift the way you think about storytelling now? The second misconception: stories are just fluff. Facts and data are what matter. The reason you think this is because in...
Okay. Misconception number 2. Stories are just fluff. Wait. Misconception. Okay, number 2. Perfect. Okay.
Facts and data are...
So
what matter. The reason you think this is because in business, in university, and even in family life, we're conditioned to be rational. Stick to the facts, Vin. But when you default to only facts, you lose the emotional stickiness that makes ideas memorable. People nod along politely, but they forget what you've said 5 minutes later. Without stories, your ideas fail to spread, and ironically, the fluff you've avoided your entire life, that's the glue that would have made the facts persuasive and memorable. I want you to think about this, right? Right at the start of the video, I gave you 2 statistics about storytelling. Do you remember what they are? I mean, do you? Tell me. Tell me right now, what are they? It's very unlikely you remember them. Now, how about my story about my dogs? What color was their favorite ball? You know the color, don't you? What was the number that I wrote on the ball? And why did I write the number there? Did you notice how you remembered every single detail about the story? You see, that's the power of storytelling. It's not fluff. It's one of the most memorable and influential
But I also remember a number.
communication devices we have access to. Were you surprised by that experience? Storytelling is just one of the most powerful tools when it comes to communication, and most people don't take the time to learn these. And I teach more foundational communication lessons in a free 3-part video series that I've recorded. In this series, you're going to learn how to become more conscious of the behaviors that rob you of credibility and rob you of clarity, so you can unlock your potential in your career and in your relationships. And if you want access to that, just click the link below.
Okay, first misconception is stories aren't just about events, they're about the meaning of behind it. Misconception number 2, stories are just fluff. Facts are what matter.
In the description. The third misconception: storytelling is only for charismatic extroverts. You're either born a storyteller or you're not. Storytelling is only for charismatic extroverts. You're either born a storyteller or you're not. Why are you talking like that, Vin? It sounds ridiculous. This is my YouTube video. I do what I want. If you're introverted or quiet, you will think to yourself, that's just not me. And as a result of this, you never practice. So then you never improve. And then you rob yourself of the chance to discover how powerful storytelling is as a craft. And also discover that it's a learnable craft. The biggest misconception is thinking extrovert equals good storyteller, when in reality, some of the best storytellers, they're quiet, they're people who've learned to use structure and timing rather than sheer energy and bravado. Those who purely rely on that sometimes can be.
Okay, at this point I want to try to tell a story. The story about today. Today I went to the mountains with my friends. Was a quiet place, blue sky, you can hear the birds, and also we play a lot with the camera. We record a lot of videos in the rocks, in the ground, watching the sky. We put music, reggaeton. We put with also. Okay, it is not. It's not very simple, bro. I try to tell a story, but it feels hard. It's hard, bro. It's not simple. I want to try to turn a simple event into an amazing story, but it's very difficult right now. Probably I just need practice. Keep practicing telling stories about ordinary events, like study, probably I can tell a story about what I studied in the previous stream or something like that, but I think that I need more practice.
So
I think we really do need to let them go.
Guys, stop the meeting now. I have to tell you a story. This morning, I left the house, thought it was gonna rain, brought my umbrella, but then it didn't rain, so I carried my umbrella the whole day. Classic, right? Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
Sorry about that.
This was me trying to tell a story about today. Journey, bro, was horrible. This was me trying to tell that story about what happens today. And I failed.
Nauseating. Just vomit in the back of my throat watching that. Awful. Let's dive into the 3 ingredients on how to be a great storyteller.
What if I told you your next semester could be in Paris or Madrid? At Schiller, you can move freely between Madrid.
Number 1, be specific. You've probably heard people say, be specific when you tell a story. Be specific to the 3 ingredients on
What was the name of section 1? Section 1, misconceptions. Okay. Okay, perfect.
on how to be a great storyteller. Number 1, be specific. You've probably heard people say, be specific when you tell a story. But what does that actually mean? Well, let me show you. Most people think being general makes you more relatable. They say, oh, I was nervous before a meeting. Okay, we've all been nervous before, but that doesn't stick. Now listen to this. Oh, my palms were so sweaty and the paper in my hands started to wrinkle from the shaking. Did you see, hear, feel, notice the difference? You're not just hearing about the nerves, you're feeling it. The detail makes it real. So here's the rule of thumb. When you're telling your story, use the 5 senses framework. Ask yourself, what did I see? What did I hear, smell, taste, touch, or adding a 6th, a bonus? We keep the bonus locked in the safe. Ask yourself, what did I see? What did I hear? Story. Use the
5 sense framework.
five senses framework. Ask yourself, what did I see? What did I hear, smell, taste, touch? Or adding a 6th, a bonus? We keep the bonus locked in the safe. So Dan, if we could get the secret out of the safe, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. The 6th one is emotion. And yes, he's been in there for about 4 days. Let me give you some quick examples. Sight. I walked into the interview room and it's 3 people sitting in a row, all in dark suits, staring at me like I'm about to go on trial. Sound. The only thing I can hear is the clicking of someone's pen. It feels louder than my own heartbeat. Smell. There's a strong smell of coffee in the room. It's kind of like been sitting in a pot for way too long. Taste. My mouth was so dry, it felt like I've been chewing on cardboard. Touch. My hands started to feel so clammy, and then my collar felt like it was shrinking. And finally, emotion. And before they even asked me the first question, I felt this wave of panic overcoming me. And it was like my body was screaming, "You don't belong here!" Each sense adds a brushstroke to your story. Together, they turn into a painting people can step into and experience. And here's the science. Specific details activate the listener's mirror neurons. And this means their brain doesn't just process your words, it simulates the experience. So if you describe the strong smell of coffee, the audience brains light up as if they're smelling it. That's why stories with detail stick. They bypass the logic and hit.
Stories don't just appeal to logic, they make us feel the experience. Wow. Important.
The experience. When you don't storytell well, this is what happens. You'll tell the story, people aren't engaged, and at the end, what do you say? You go, no, you had to have been there, you had to have been there, you had to have been there. That's what bad storytellers say. With this next skill, you'll take them there. Number 2, reporting versus reliving a story. Most people think they're reporting.
Ingredient number 1 was to be specific. Ingredient number 2 is reporting versus reliving.
Versus reliving.
Number 2.
A story. Most people think they're actually telling and reliving stories, but in actual reality, they're reporting stories. And there's a huge difference. Reporting is information. Reliving is transformation. Let me show you.
Welcome to High Level. We're an all-in-one platform that gives you everything you need to capture, nurture, and close leads like never before. In High Level, you'll find features like a full CRM, funnel, website, course, marketing automations and email builders, a consolidated email, SMS, WhatsApp, and social.
Huge difference. Reporting is information. Reliving is transformation. Let me show you. They're reporting stories. And there's a huge difference. Reporting is information. Reliving.
Reporting information. Reliving transformation. Perfect.
Reliving is transformation. Let me show you. Last night, I walked on stage. I was nervous. Then I gave my talk. Yeah, it's true, it's accurate, but it's also flat. You're basically giving people the Wikipedia version of your life. Now let me give you the version where I relive the exact same story. I step onto the stage, and the spotlights are so bright, I can't even see the front row. I was so nervous, my hands were shaking so hard, the notes were rattling like crazy, and the imposter syndrome in my head was saying, "You don't belong in this room, Vin, with all these amazing people." And every single face in the audience, they're staring right back at me. Even though I was nervous, I still delivered my talk scared. Do you feel the difference? You're not just hearing what happened, you're in it with me. You can see it, hear it, and you can feel it yourself. You almost heard the paper rattling, didn't you? You roam in with all the... I step onto the stage where I relive the exact same story. I step onto the stage and the spotlights are so bright, I can't even see the front row. I was so nervous, my hands were shaking so hard, the notes were rattling like crazy, and the imposter syndrome in my head was saying, "You don't belong in this room, Vin, with all these amazing people." And every single face in the audience, they're staring right back at me. Even though I was nervous, I still delivered my talk scared. Do you feel the difference? You're not just hearing what happened, you're in it with me. You can see it, hear it, and you can feel it yourself. You almost heard the paper rattling, didn't you? When you relive a story, something happens in your body. Your voice changes, your face changes, even your gestures, they shift. Why? Because you're reliving it yourself as you tell the story. And the audience doesn't just understand what you went through, they actually experience it. That's the magic. Reporting informs, reliving makes them feel like they lived it with you. So how do you get better at this? Let me share with you 3 quick tips. First, use the 5 senses or 6 senses like I spoke about before. What did you see, hear, smell, taste, or touch and feel in that moment? One vivid detail is all you need. Second, change your tense. Don't say, "I was standing there nervous." Instead, say, "I'm standing there. My palms are sweating. My chest is tight." Using present tense in your stories is how you relive it. Third, let your body join in on the story. If your hands are
3 tips to relive stories. Okay.
shaking, shake your hands. Let it actually shake while you're telling the story. Now I know what you're thinking. I can relive the story. I can share all the specific details of a story, but why would anybody care? It's because you need the final ingredient, which is number 3. Share the meaning of the story. Now here.
Ingredient number 3.
Which is number 3. Share the meaning of the story. Now here's the part that most people miss. A story isn't powerful just because you relive it. It's powerful because of the meaning you share after it.
Life really is like a dance.
Oh my God, Jessica, I gotta tell you something. This morning, I thought it was gonna rain, so I brought an umbrella. It didn't rain, so I carried an umbrella the whole day for no reason. Eh?
So why are you telling me this?
Because it's funny. Eh? Terrible storyteller, right? But damn, he's got one hell of a jawline. Eh? The meaning is what makes the story useful. It's what transforms your story into a gift for the audience who's listening. Without it, you're just telling campfire tales. With it, you're now teaching, inspiring, and shifting someone's perspective.
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus. And this is your brain when you're in the zone.
Here's how I think about it. The story is the doorway, but the meaning is what you lead people into once walk through the door. When you say the magical words, the reason I'm telling you this is because that's the moment your audience connects the dots and
Okay, the reason I'm telling you this is because. Makes sense, bro.
understands why the story relates to them. And right there and then is the most important part, relevance.
The most important part of storytelling is the meaning. You guys want to give it a go?
Yeah, sure. I guess my story is on stage fright. And
Wait, because right now I get 1 new subscriber, bro. Yo, 90 subscribers. Let's go. I hope to have 100 for today, but 90 subscribers. It's okay. It's okay. One more subscriber. Let's go, bro.
I suppose the meaning is about being courageous. Is that right?
Dan, that's more than right. That's beautiful.
My story is about being locked in a safe for 4 days. And I think the meaning is that I'm very lucky to have a boss like Vin. Is that right?
It's more than right, Peter. That's actually the correct answer. Right. So my story about carrying an umbrella around all day, the meaning of that is, I don't think anybody in the office likes me. I don't think anybody listens to me when I storytell. I don't have any friends.
What? Let me add an extra lesson here. The link you make from the story to the lesson, it needs to make sense. This is why the best storytellers, they don't stop after the end of the story, after the punchline. They deliver the punchline, then they deliver the point, then they deliver the lesson, it needs to make sense. This is why the best storytellers, they don't stop after the end of the story, after the punchline. They deliver the punchline, then they deliver the point, then they deliver the relevance, the lesson. Because your audience doesn't just want to know what happened to you, they want to know, well, what does it mean for them? That's how stories stick. They remember how it applies. Well, what does it mean for them?
Wait, that's important.
Doesn't just want to know what happened, they deliver the relevance, the lesson. Because your audience doesn't just want to know what happened to you.
What happened? To you.
They want to know, well, what does it mean for them? Just want to know what happened to you. They want to know, well, what does it mean for them?
Wait.
That's how stories stick. they remember how it applies to their own lives. And that association is what makes it extremely memorable. And the final part, when storytelling works best and when it actually gets in the way. Here's a simple rule that I follow. If I've got 15 minutes or more with you, and I want to be memorable and influential, I'm sharing a story. Let me give you an example of this. Here during this Q&A, one of my students asked me a very deep and meaningful question. Have a listen to this.
I have a question about your entrepreneurial journey.
Sure.
There's a saying, it's kind of got a biblical context to it.
Sure.
What gets you out of Egypt doesn't take you to paradise. Meaning sometimes you might need to get yourself out of somewhere you don't want to be before you can pursue chasing a dream or going somewhere you want to be.
Yes.
Could you please reflect on that in terms of your journey?
Do you notice the way he asked me? I could tell that this question meant a lot to this student of mine. And I could have literally just gave a really short answer and just say, yes, I had to change who I am. Next question. But I didn't want to do that. This was a moment I knew that if I answered this well and I told a story and made the lesson memorable, I can change this young man's life. I can inspire him. So here's what I did instead of giving a short answer.
The place that I didn't want to be was living in the discomfort of not knowing what I should do with my life. I hated that. But that was so necessary. Because I think often people don't realize that, and please, speaking out of my area of expertise here, okay? So if we're just friends and this is venturing into a fairly deep space. Sitting in the discomfort of my early 20s, of not knowing what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, being presented with security, a path that most take, a script that most will write in their life because it's a default script society has told me to write, versus blank pages and you can go and explore and write whatever story you want to write. Sitting in that space was me in Egypt. It was so difficult. I knew that I had to do some of this to be able to gradually do this. My heart wanted to immediately go and explore, but reality required me to work in a takeaway store first. I do this all the time. When I come back from big gigs, right, I will always drive back to the takeaway store that I worked at, order a meal, sit in the food court and eat it. Because I used to cook that meal. I used to deep fry hot chips and I used to stand in front of an oil all day, my face filled with acne because I did that. I did that for years. I worked at a petrol station at night so I could make more money because they paid more money for the nighttime hours. So I worked at a petrol station in Semaphore in Adelaide. So I'd work all day, 9 till 5 at a takeaway store. And then after that, I would go to the petrol station, get there at 6 and I'd work till about 12 at night because that's when I close. And then there were times when I'd then have to go to nightclubs to do magic because I would try to do magic to keep people in line, and I arranged with the club owners, if I can keep more people in line for you, you'll make more money because when the line's too long, people leave. I'll be the magician in line for you, right? So I started doing all this and started getting paid. I hated being around drunk people. I don't drink. I suffered in that path so I can create enough of a runway so I can buy blank pages to then go write my story. But I had to go get money to buy the blank pages. I wasn't gifted blank pages. So then I got my blank pages and I started writing. And then you know what happened, Rav? Ran out of money to buy more blank pages before I found my way. Back to making money to buy blank pages.
Notice the difference? Wasn't sharing a story like that way more impactful? And I know for a fact because I did that, I didn't just impact that young man, I inspired a lot of people in that room on that day. Now, if you've got significantly less than 15 minutes and you're in a situation like this...
Vin, can we deliver by Friday? Yes or no?
Once upon a time, there was a turtle named Yes, and then there was a hare named No. It's not the story you're thinking of. Trust me, you don't know this one.
This guy is amazing. I love this video, bro. I love this video. It's so funny.
And then basically, the turtle is really slow and consistent. And the hare's really... Sometimes the most influential thing you can do is give a straight and precise answer. Other times, it's to tell a story. And mastery is knowing which moment you're in. And before I share something with you that's really important to me, I need to put away someone who's really important to me. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Let's make sure we lock that up as well. I can't afford to lose that guy. Perfect. Thank you. You, as you're sitting there watching this right now, your life is a story. Go live the story you want to tell. My team.
I'm living the story I want to tell with this, living with that, the list of 100 things I want to do before I die. Bro, and I'm going live because I want to tell my story in the future, bro. And someone will watch this video and he or she will say, oh wow, that's where this guy started, bro. Wow.
And I, we wanted to be able to tell a story where in 2026 we can say, do you remember that time we went to Dubai for New Year's? And at the end of this year, we are going to live the story first so we can tell it in 2026. Don't forget, you are the one holding the pen. You are the author of your story. This is just one of 5 skills that I wish I learned in my 20s. And if you want to learn the other 4 skills, click this video here to continue the journey with me.
Thank you so much.
¿Te imaginas tener tu cerebro conectado a una fuente de las mejores ideas que pueden transformar tu negocio?
Perfect, guys. That's all for today. The truth is, today is not my best day. I don't feel good, but I know what I need to do in order to make $1 million. Even if I'm tired, even if I'm sad, I know that I need to go live every single day and learn every single day and apply what I'm learning every single day, because the most important thing, that's the reason why I choose these 3 videos, is because I need to know what to do, and that's what I really need. That's why I need to know about market research, and I need to know about storytelling. So that's the reason why I choose these 2 videos, because I need to apply that information to my channel, to my life, to my projects. That's the reason why I choose these 2 videos. So I feel tired, I feel sad, but no matter, I need to do the things I need to do in order to make $1 million. So thank you so much. This was day 17, 349 days left, and I will apply all this information, and thank you so much, guys. One life, one shot.